Hey guys, today we are on a media drive from KL to Ipoh, and we are in a very exciting new car. It's none other than the Mazda CX-60. So this is our first drive impressions of the CX-60, and we have 4 passengers, or including driver. There are 4 of us, and we weigh about 300 odd kilograms, and that also adds up to the weight of the vehicle. Now, the CX-60, in case you want to know what is the size, is one size up on the CX-5. So the CX-5 will be replaced, I think, eventually, but the CX-60 is one size up. And if you thought that the CX-5 was a little bit too small for you, this is something you want to look at. And yes, it's coming to Malaysia, and by the time you watch this video, the car would have been launched. So for the launch, we'll do another video to announce the final price and all, but orders are being taken at around 200,000. So I think the launch price will be close to this or slightly lower. So here's hoping. Now, what's different about this CX-60? Well, in order to make it palatable for Malaysian drivers and the Malaysian pocketbook, they have put in the 2.5-litre NA engine to this CX-60, and the difference is it is placed longitudinally. That means it's like north-south arrangement, and drive, gentlemen and ladies, is to the rear wheel. So the driving sensation of this car is something that we're all looking forward to, because it's got, other than the rear wheel drive thing, if you compare it to the other SUVs in this class, in the C segment, D segment, most of them are in the 2-wheel drive category. That means front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and most of them have their engines fitted east-west. So this is going to be something very different, because what we are having is actually just rear-wheel drive. And the lane keep system is trying to tell me to signal before you change lane. Yes, I did. So anyway, this car comes with the full ADAS that you want, and also 20-inch wheels. So what we have is an 8-speed gearbox, and this is a little bit different from conventional gearboxes. It is a Mazda Sky Active gearbox in the sense that they say it's the best of all the worlds between a conventional gearbox, CVT, and also a DCT. Okay, so DCTs don't do well in city traffic, and they have high wear and tear. Automatics don't do well in the highway because there's a lot of slip and there's a lot of transmission loss. And CVTs don't do well, other than the fact that they are good for fuel consumption, and of course the CVT have the problem of the CVT drone, or the wear and tear of the drive chain, and also the rubber band effect. But of course, having said that, CVTs are getting better, and so are automatics. And the difference about the Mazda Sky Active transmission is that it has an 8-speed, and it doesn't have a torque converter, so the gears are more direct. But it's not like a DCT, because they use a lot of dry clutches and wet clutches and stuff like that. I don't have the full details, but it has less slip, so your change down is faster. And of course, there are 8 ratios. You have a nice peak of ratios, so you feel you can get the best efficiency out of this gearbox. Now, secondly, it doesn't have as much slip. Okay, in fact, I was told in the previous Mazda gearbox, the transmission, that they have actually lock-up clutches in all the gears. So anything from 8 kilometers per hour onwards, your car is like a manual, is in full lock. So they have actually done a very good job. The 6-speed automatic from the Mazda family is pretty good, and this 8-speed gearbox is not new. I heard about it as far back as 4 years ago, and finally it's coming here in the CX-60. So now you have a 8-speed gearbox, north-south mounted engine, 2.5-litre with 191 PS and 261 Newton meters of torque. That's enough power. And of course, maybe later on, we all know there is a 2.5 turbo, right? Yeah, so actually this 2.5 liter turbo comes from the Mazda family, yeah, the 4-cylinder 2.5. And of course elsewhere in worlds where they can afford bigger capacities, there is also a 3.3 liter straight 6, and that is another potent machine. But of course with 3.3 liters the road tax will be a little bit more expensive, and of course fuel consumption will be something that will be a consideration. Maybe, and I fully suspect they will bring in this 3.3 liter later. But for a start, this is a very good capacity and it has enough power. Yeah, so this is the same engine that powers the CX-8, the CX-5, you know, the 2.5. So the 2.5 and the CX-5 gives it a lot of power. Now this one, I think the weight is a little bit more. I think it's about 1.7 tons if I'm not mistaken. All right, so in terms of, at the front here, we have driving mode. I see sport, I see normal, yeah. So we are in, okay, see, once you are in sport, the screen turns red, you know, everything turns dark. Wow. And the engine is more perky, and then it holds the gear more. Wow. Okay, so you have a sport mode, then you have a normal mode. So we're back in normal mode. So when you get into sport mode, all the fire comes out, yeah. Fire within you, fire in the car. Okay, so what else is good about this? You can see from the rear camera, this new screen. My partner here, who has remained very quiet, thank you very much. So my partner here says that this is what he likes, because his CX-5 has a very, very small screen. I agree. So this is definitely a vast improvement. And what I like about this is also that the top of the screen is actually nice and low, so you don't get your vision obstructed. And of course we have a panoramic sunroof up there. We have a double wishbone in the front, which already is a step up, and only the more expensive cars have double wishbones, and a multi-link layout at the back. So this lends for very good handling. Now put that together with a rear-wheel drive with enough power, and this SUV spells fun. And at the briefing this morning, the project leader said that, yeah, this is what they plan to put into the car, and or rather this SUV. And this is the first time we are seeing a SUV with rear-wheel drive for a very, very long time. So this is something that's exciting to look forward to. Of course, we know there's also the Miata, and the build-up for the Miata and this is very, very similar. Okay, and so if you thought the Miata was too small for you, maybe this is what you want, yeah, as a family person. Okay, so we have ventilated discs in the front, and also I'm not sure whether they're solid or ventilated at the back, but they are discs. And of course we also have 20-inch wheels and paddle shifters, 2 driving modes. Wow, this is a really, really nice vehicle. And now we're just going to drive it a bit fast. And well, Mazda have always known to have good driving characteristics, including the Jinba E-Tai, because if you sit in this car, the center of the headrest and the center of the seat, they are in line with the center of the steering and the center of the instrument panel, so you won't be sitting sideways, yeah. And this is what Jinba E-Tai is about, and that also includes the center of the brake pedal is right. All of them are in line. So, and this gives you that very direct feeling. And also they said that the suspension also has an anti-lift geometry, and this is something that Mazda actually have been working on since the 80s. They had anti-lift, they have anti-dive. Yeah, with the first Mazda front-wheel drive cars, the 323 that came, I remember in those days, they had anti-lift and anti-dive. And so this one has anti-lift. And of course, with the rear-wheel drive, when you're powering, because every time you accelerate, you know, you watch the cartoons, the car sort of moves up, yeah. So all the weight actually transfers to the back, and that gives it very, very good power transfer to the road. And Also, because having a rear-wheel drive configuration, they move some of the weight to the back, and that also allows them to move the engine slightly to the back. And what they try to do is to try to move the weight towards the center of the vehicle and spread some to the back to give it better balance. All right. Now, in terms of ride, it's pretty good. It's a SUV, remember, yeah? So there will be a little bit of body roll, but remembering that this is, of course, an SUV, it's supposed to give you comfort. And we are on the B roads now. On these roads, you won't see a lot of cornering, but I assume it's pretty good lah, based on the historical fact of all Mazdas that we've been on. Of course, when we are able, we will take this up the mountain and we'll tell you if it runs. But all indications are that it will. So, if you want to buy a car like this, well, it's very easy. You can go to our booking platform. You can send me a WhatsApp at 016-335-0609, or you can go to our booking platform, which is shop.yskhongdriving.com, and you can place your booking there with us. And of course, we will try to get your car to you pronto. Now, I think there are 5 colors, and I saw one that's pretty good. Of course, the Soul Red is the best color. Then you have the white that we are driving, and then there is a gray, and also there's a new color. It's some kind of creamy green or something like that, but I don't know the exact color name. But I'm sure you can go to the website and check out what it is. So you have all the colors that you want, including the ever popular Soul Red. So guys, this is our first driving impression. I am quite impressed with the car, and I hope that, well, you will find it impressive too. But I really like the idea of rear wheel drive. Anyway, thanks for watching, and till we meet again in the next video. Bye bye.